Hi, folks. This is Elgin Subway Surfer Bowling, your creative caricature marketing consultant, and this is the third and final September the 11th reflection by me. And let me start off by saying I have two children, a boy and a girl, and my son is studying now. He's in grad school, studying in seminary, studying to be a pastor. My daughter is what you call a deaconess, at a church here in Brooklyn, New York. A deaconess, for those of you who don't know, is like a nun who can marry, thank God. But I'm saying that, as a lead into my story. At the time, September 11th, my two kids were attending a church school in Brooklyn, in Williamsburg section of Brooklyn, called St.John the Evangelist. The former pastor is no longer there, so the pastor who presides over that church, his name is, ironically, Pastor Priest. I kid you not, that's his name, Pastor Priest. He wears a priest collar because it's Lutheran, and he looks like those pictures of Jesus. I'm not kidding. If you go to the church, you'll bug out. This guy looks like Jesus, and he's named Pastor Priest. That's my little bit of crazy humor. Couldn't help but getting that in there. But anyway, at the time of the attacks, they were in school. Going to class and everything, and they had this teacher. A strong, resolute German woman by the name of Mrs. Hoop. Mrs. Hoop had this strong, commanding voice and presence. Great lady, fiercely dedicated to God and education. She was a warrior woman, as if ever I've met one. And what was significant about Miss Hoop was she was passionate about, she was a white woman, a white German. She's passionate about teaching black and Latino kids, ironically, about black and African American and Latino history, and history, period. Now, I'm kind of building up to the story. During that time, everybody went crazy because from Williamsburg, you could actually see the planes going into the towers. You just look across on the horizon, you can actually see the smoke billowing out of the towers. You could actually see the towers going down. You could see all of that. And there was pandemonium, as you might understand, in the school, Williamsburg being so close to the World Trade Center area, just right across the river. And teachers were bugging out. One teacher, my kids tell me, started screaming and really started going bananas and losing it, in the school. And Miss Hoop did something that at the time I was furious about. But then as I reflected on it years later, it was about the wisest thing that she could do. She didn't shed a tear. She didn't panic. She took her class outside, went around the corner, stood on the corner, told them to look at the horizon and to look and see what was happening. She forced them to look at the towers going down, at the smoke billowing out of the World Trade Center. She told them to get a good look at it, and she explained to them, this is history. This is what's happening. She forced these children, my kids, to unflinchingly look at this horror. And the wisdom in that, years later, what she was trying to teach them was, you can't run away from the realities of life. You cannot run away from tragedy. You cannot be insulated from things. This is what's happening. And she must have known that this was an event that was going to affect everyone, including children. And there's something about facing up to something, even though it's horrible, that gets you through that. And as a result, my kids years later count that as one of their fondest, ironically, memories. Very important milestone, for them. And I believe that it made not only them a lot stronger in facing up to problems, but also the kids who were fortunate in having Miss Hoop teach them such a graphic lesson. I have no more to say about that other than I wish I could have attended her funeral because I would have given honor and the proper respect to a great lady who taught my kids so much and made them better people for it. This is Elgin Subway Surfer Bowling, your creative caricature marketing consultant.